In this video, I am going to talk about basic collection concepts. These concepts are although very basic but very much important with respect to interview questions. So let's start. Collection. Collection is a part of java.util package and it is introduced in JDK 1.2. Before collections, we have vector and stack, and in order to iterate over those vector and stack, we have enumeration. Now collection extends iterable, and iterable is a part of java.lang. We will see much more about iterable later point of time. In collection, we have few interfaces like list, set, queue and dequeue. Also, we have one important interface called map that is not considered as a part of collection, and map is a part of java.util package. And if you had observed that java.util contains all core libraries, all the core classes of Java along with the concurrency package is present in java.util. Now these list, set, queue and dequeue all extends collection interface, and collection is extending iterable. Collection is an interface. You may have encountered this question in interview: difference between collection and collections. Also, set is extended by sorted set and map is extended by sorted map. If we look at the overall properties of the classes that implement these interfaces, we would find some common properties, and these properties are, for example, for list, it is indexed, it is ordered, duplicates allowed. So all the classes that is implementing the list interface like array list, linked list or any other class has the property of indexed, ordered and duplicates allowed. Similarly, for set, duplicates are not allowed, it is unordered except few set that implements sorted set. Example, you can take tree set. Queue has property of first in first out, and dequeue has property of first in first out as well as last in first out. So it is a bidirectional queue, you can say. In case of map, it always store the value as key value pair. Duplicates are not allowed, and all of these interfaces and the core classes is present in rt.jar. So if you open rt.jar, you will find the java.util package, and inside that you will find all these classes and also concurrency folder that contains all the concurrent classes like concurrent hasmap, copy on write array set, copy on write array list, etc. Moving forward, we have seen the hierarchy of the collection. Collection extends iterable, list, set, queue, dequeue extends collection, and map is not considered as a part of collection. Now if we talk about the classes that implement all these interfaces, we would have for list, array list, linked list, copy on write array list, vector, stack. For set, we have has set, linked has set, tree set, enum set, copy on write array set, concurrent skip list set. For queue and dequeue, with respect to interview questions, the most important part is blocking queue, that is used for producer consumer problem. For map, it is has map, tree map, concurrent has map, enum map, has table, has linked map, linked has map, concurrent skipped list map, identity has map, weak has map, and properties. Now, if you see with respect to interviews, what is the important classes that you at least know the basic functionality, then you would have these classes. And if I look at the most important classes that would be asked in any interviews related to collection, or if you go for a Java interview, then these are the classes. So ArrayList and hasSet hasMap is most common now, but with respect to theoretical point of view, the concept of enum is very much important in Java interview questions. Moving forward, let's take an example of ArrayList. ArrayList implements list, list extends collection interface, collection interface extends iterable. If we look at the method definition of all this, we would have for iterable public abstract interface java.lang.iterable. It is taken from the source code, that's why you're seeing the complete path. For collection, we have public abstract interface java.util.collection extends java.lang iterable. Similarly, for list, we have list extends collection, and for array list, extending abstract list and implementing list random access, clonable and serializable. Now, the hierarchy I have shown for array list, the reason is because if you see, the class ArrayList is not directly implementing only list interface. ArrayList is extending abstract list. This class is very much important, and apart from implementing list, ArrayList is also implementing random access, clonable and serializable. Earlier we have seen ArrayList is an indexed, or the class is implementing list is indexed property. The reason of being indexed is due to this random access interface. It is a marker interface. Similarly, clonable and serializable is also a marker interface. With respect to theoretical point of view, again, you should know what is a marker interface and the examples from the JDK. So here are the three examples of marker interface: random access, clonable and serializable. Now, how do we iterate over the collection? And if we have to iterate the list, we can write iterator string itr equal to list iterator. But have you wondered what is happening behind when you write this? Earlier you have seen the definition of ArrayList. ArrayList extends abstract list and implements list interface. And if you see the list methods, you would have several methods present there, but what concerns here to me is this iterator, because we are going to iterate over this array list. Now this iterator has the definition of public abstract java.util.iterator iterator. The return type of the method is iterator. Iterator is again an interface, and it has four methods: has next, next, remove, for each remaining. While iterating the array list, you may have used has next and remove. You may know the functionality of these things. Now, if you see inside the class of array list, you will find a one class called ITR. ITR is an inner class to the array list, and if you observe, it contains the method has next, next, remove, for each remaining. That means this class is implementing the iterator and providing the implementation of has next, next, remove, for each remaining. And there is one more important variable if you see, expected mod count. When I write iterator string itr equal to list.iterator, an object of itr is returned internally, and whatever the implementation this inner class provide, we use. So this is a kind of implementation of iterator design pattern. So if anyone asks you an example of iterator design pattern from JDK, you can give iterator is based on iterator design pattern. If they ask you about alternate examples, you can give a scanner class. Similarly, like iterator, a scanner class also is based on iterator design pattern. So if you want to simplify the architecture or how you can implement a custom iterator, or you can implement an iterator design pattern, array list implementing list, and you have iterator method present inside list whose return type is going to be an interface. Let's say the interface is iterator, and iterator has the 4 value, or iterator has the 4 methods. In case of your custom iterator, it is up to you. You can provide any number of methods, and there could be a class that is implementing this iterator and providing the implementation of all these methods. Now, how this ITR should be related to array list is going to be much more important. ITR is going to be an inner class of this array list, and if you see the implementation of ITR class, you can see how it is providing the implementation of has next and next. We will look more over this because it will give you more important questions like concurrent modification exception, fail fast, and fail safe iterator concept. And this ITR is an inner class to the array list. This is how you can create a custom iterator also, or you can implement an iterator design pattern. Moving ahead. Now, this ITR class providing the implementation of has next, next, and remove. So if you look, when we are calling the ITR class, we should create an object of ITR class, and while creating the object of ITR class, we are setting a value of the variable called expected mod count. The value of this variable expected mod count is equal to ArrayList.this.mod count. Now, if you remember, ArrayList was extending abstract list. This mod count variable is a transient variable in abstract list class. That's why I have said it is going to be a very much important for ArrayList abstract list class. And if you see the implementation of next and remove method, the first thing they're going to be is check for co-modification. Here also you can see check for co-modification. Now if you see the co-modification, they have an if condition, and inside if condition they are checking the value that they have set while calling the ITR object. ArrayList.this.mod count not equal to this.expected mod count, then throw concurrent modification exception. Now you can see from where the interviewer was asking to you concurrent modification exception. They were looking for this value called mod count and how it is set. So you can say, if someone asks you how concurrent modification exception is thrown, if this value, let's say mod count is going to change structurally. Structural change means change in size of the list or any collection. Then the value of mod count is going to change. And before calling any implementation, we are checking the value that we have set while calling the object. And if the value is not equal, then we are explicitly throwing concurrent modification exception. Now, the iterators that throw concurrent modification exception are called fail fast iterators. So here the two important concepts. First is the fail fast iterator and second is concurrent modification exception. These two interview questions are tightly coupled to each other. Now if they ask you an example of fail safe iterators, you can give any classes from concurrency package, whether it is concurrent hash map or copy on write array list or copy on write array set. The simple reason is they work on the copy of the collection rather than the original copy of the collection. Moving ahead, earlier at the beginning of this video we have talked about one important interview question. What is the difference between collection and collections? We have already seen collection is an interface and it is an important interface in Java. Collections is a class. Collections methods are static mostly, so you can access it via class name. For example, collections.emptyList that will give you an empty list. Other methods include empty list set map, sort, shuffle, reverse, swap, copy, min, max, rotate, replace all, unmodifiable, set list map, synchronized list map, singleton list singleton map. Now with respect to interview, empty list set map are important. Unmodifiable, whether it is set list or map, it is important. It is used to create an immutable set list. Synchronized list map is also important. It could be asked in questions like which is faster, hash map, concurrent hash map, synchronized list, or hash table, or you can say vector. Or if I have given you a collection without using concurrency package, or you can say without using synchronized keyword, how would you get a synchronized list or map? Singleton is also important. If you want a unique instance from a duplicate sets of value, you can use singleton list singleton map. Now let's look at the summary of the video so it could be an easier and remember. We have talked about collection interface, list set queue map interface, classes implementing above interface, important classes with respect to interview, fail fast iterators, fail safe iterators, iterator design pattern, concurrent modification exception, collections class. And if you look at the interview questions, a basic interview questions that is going to be arise from this concept are: what is collection? Tell me about collection hierarchy. What are the main interfaces in collection? Difference between collection and collections. Now these interview questions are mostly asked on a freshers level. Coming to mid-level interview questions, we have why ArrayList supports index accessing. What is random access interface? Properties or difference in list set or map, or any of the classes implementing list set or map, or where to use, for example, ArrayList or linked list. what is concurrent modification exception, what is fail fast and fail safe iterator, on which design pattern iterator implementations based or directly iterator design pattern. And if you are able to give answer to this question, interviewer will go further and ask, can you write a custom iterator? Also, the last question, in my project I need immutable empty list. How can I create one? This was all about this collections concept part 1 video with respect to interview questions. Stay tuned and subscribe for more upcoming videos for Java, Spring Boot, Microservices, Cloud, REST, interview questions and concepts.